Greetings, brothers and sisters. Hello and welcome back to Witches of the Moon. I'm Eva Maria, your Monday hostess for this season. This is season 7, week 2, and the topic this week is connecting with guardians and guides. Now, we all, as far as I have found, as far as I can tell, we all have guardians and guides. And I find also that openness is probably the very foundation to nurturing a strong connection, a clear connection with our spiritual, overseers, sort of. I guess that's a good term, overseers. Do they oversee us, I feel that we can only receive their messages and their guidance through a clear channel. And the way to have a clear channel to receive, again, that guidance and those messages is to be open to receiving their messages. I feel that doubt sort of creates static. It creates blockages. So I would say foundationally, we should really be open and trusting that our guardians and guides will provide us the messages, the direction that we need in this life. We just have to be, I find, willing and trusting to receive what it is that they have to convey to us. I also find that the communications that come from guardians and guides, I find it comes mainly through the language of, I guess you could say, instinct or psychic impressions, things of that nature. I feel that they tend to communicate through synchronistic signs, through things like gut feelings, through knowings that may just come to us that we might not understand where those knowings come from. Dreams sometimes can be an avenue for them to communicate with us. There are many ways that they can reach out. Sometimes it's just a feeling, just an emotion or a sense, it could be even an abstract sense, but I feel that it's important to trust in our own intuition, to trust the process. I feel that also it helps if we ask sometimes when we need guidance, to just, whether it's through prayer or just even just asking, whether it's in a thought in your mind, whether it's out loud when you're alone or whatever. Ask your guardians and guides to come forward and guide you, to show you the way when you don't know the way. But understand that the way that they may convey what they want to say to you or show you that you need to know, it may not be so, what's the word I'm looking for? What are the words I'm looking for? It may not be as cut and dry as, a voice or something in your mind, or it may not be always so clear cut. Sometimes it's, again, like a synchronicity. Certain things will keep coming up again and again and again and again until you finally take heed and realize, wait a minute, this is something I need to pay attention to. This is something they're showing me for a reason. Or it may be a dream, that is just really maybe vivid or maybe just profound, in the way it makes you feel or something like that. I feel that our guardians and guides, they're, as far as I could tell, as far as I've ever known or experienced, they've always been with us all our lives, but I think sometimes when we get upset or worried or whatever, sometimes we forget that they have a close proximity to us. I think sometimes we forget to heed those sort of subtle, intuitive, or psychic avenues of communication. You know, that channel, our own like baser emotions can sort of cloud that channel, as can doubt again. So I'm sorry that this video is going to be kind of short. I really have to be getting to bed because I have to be going to work soon, but that's what I would suggest in terms of connecting with guardians and guides. Be open, trust that they will be there for you. Trust that the messages they will convey will be there when you need them. Trust in your own senses, instinctually, psychically, even if you don't particularly feel very psychic. Everyone is psychic in some degree, some fashion. Everyone is usually psychic in varying ways, to varying degrees. Not everyone's going to have the same sorts of impressions. Some people may be more intuitive, some people may be more empathic, some people may be clairaudient, they may hear things. Some people may be more clairvoyant, they may see images in their mind's eye, or even, what may seem like visions with their actual eyes. Why I say may seem is because really, not to go off on a tangent, but there are times where things seem perceived by the eyes, but really they are perceived by a subtler sense. Whatever. Point being, we all perceive things psychically in some way, shape, or form. Some people will just know things. Whatever. But it is by the avenues, I feel, of psychic ability, of instincts, that we can receive the messages that our guardians and guides have for us. So, again, don't ever hesitate to ask when you need them to guide you. Know that they will guide you. Trust your instincts, trust your psychic abilities. Have faith. Keep your channel clear. And you will be surprised how very powerful your guardians and guides will come forth. That, I think, is probably the best way that I can introduce this topic. Maybe I could say more, but again, I really am not at liberty this week to speak at length. If you do have questions about this, I welcome you to ask them in the comments below. And with that, I'm going to wish you all blessed be in Ashe. I'm going to encourage you all to stay tuned this week, see what everybody else has to say on the topic of connecting with guardians and guides. And until next week, until next time, you all stay awesome. Bye-bye for now.